Good morning, actually afternoon everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's reading is going to be your turning point. I know it's used in American politics at the moment, but I read it in I forgot the name of the book, but a Madame Blavatsky book. So I don't know, sometimes they steal it from each other, don't they? It's basically looking at a point in your life, how to recognise it, where a decision needs to be made, what decision may lead you down which path, so to guide you, and which is probably the best path for you. And that's what we're going to do. You have got three choices. I've chosen cards I don't use very often, just for a change. So the first one is the Lovers. Glitzy. The second one is Mr. Tumnus. Devil. And the third one is the Strength. I was going to say the Lion, but it's the Strength. Okay, and I will see you in a minute. There you go. Okay, I'm just going to start talking here. This is what it feels like. There may be little different sort of explanations, but it feels like somebody who is either in a relationship. It doesn't have to be a marriage. To me, it could very much be, I was going to say two women. It could be two women anyway, but it could be two women like sisters. Like sisters, or your sister if you're male, and the sex doesn't really matter, but to me there's a relationship here with somebody who's quite fiery, and I don't mean fiery, it doesn't mean like, fiery people often tend to have louder voices, more assertive, more outgoing with their energy. They're often the ones that pick parties out. I mean, you've got the Queen of Wands here and down here, but on this side you've got the King of Pentacles, which is somebody who is very stable, normally very steady, tends to stay to a particular course of action during their life. And down here, which is your turning point, you've got heartbreak. So it feels like, I was going to say like calling a relationship out. It doesn't feel like it's like that. It's more a case of it's not moving. Perhaps something needs to be moved, because you've got here is it the Eight of Cups? Let me just put my goggles on. Yeah, it is the Eight of Cups. It's walking away from a situation that has been the same for a long time. So in my mind, and this maybe just be one scenario, it's like being in a relationship that is moving and you're dying to get out of it, but you're just in it because it's not bad. It's content. But I feel that the person watching this wants more. The reason that I'm saying that, this is going to be the reason here, which we've just talked about. On either side are going to be your choices looking that way and that way. On this side, you've got the Queen of Wands again, and you've got the Ace of Pentacles, which is starting something fresh. Queen of Wands energy likes to restart things. They feel alive when they make the change, but often in life, the older you get as well, the more you prefer to be in comfort. And until you make that change, which normally is made for you, you forget what it feels like to feel alive again like that. You know, that sort of, it's just like chopping one part of your life off and going on to another. This can often feel like a Uranus transit when your Queen of Wands is in action. I know Uranus is air, but it's the guts to move, the guts to change before it's done for you. So Ace of Pentacles, starting something fresh. This can be like a new job. The movement could be made away from this connection, and it could be a work connection because you have got the Pentacle energy in here. It could be a work connection that's got a little bit steady, a little bit staid. Somebody's a little bit restless, and there's an option there to start a new situation in life. It's like a new garden, new home, new journey, new job, and that's coming from this fiery person here. That is one option. On this side, you've got the Justice card, which is like balancing and keeping, your head above water and keeping everybody happy as well, which is very Libran. And you've got the Page of Pentacles, which if it's a marriage, it could be children involved. But also as well, I can't ignore the fact that this is the Page of Pentacles and this is the Ace of Pentacles. This feels like keeping the peace and making some sort of movement. So I think that maybe this time in your life you feel there's a tension in here. You're afraid of hurting people, you're afraid of making change, but it's gnawing at you, and you really do fancy that feeling of being footloose and fancy free for a while, whether it's with a job or a relationship or a female connection, like sister, best buddy, that type of thing. This has been going on for a long time. And there's emotionally a need to walk away from this situation. I don't feel there's arguments in here. I feel because this is repeated, it's restlessness. And you've got two choices: to make sure everybody's okay and make slight moves, or to really throw the baby out with the bathwater and be yourself and make a big move, I think. And that will be your turning point. On this side, you've got the Temperance card. The Temperance card is a Sagittarian card. It has a spiritual edge of being aware of both sides of your nature, both sides of who you are, really. One that is immersed in earth and aware of our harder sides, the more trudgy sides of ourselves, but the other half being immersed very much in spirit and being aware of the lighter parts of ourselves. So I feel at the moment, I can't remember what these cards are as yet. That's more like moving on. But if you take the more, the braver version or the braver choice, I think you're going to feel more in the mutable energy down here, more in your flow, more in life's just going to throw at you different types of activities and experiences that are going to feed your spirit in some way. Maybe a long stretch there, but I feel things are too steady for you. Sorry. Down here you've got the Six of Swords. The writing's so small and my eyes are so bad. I say old then, but yeah, they may be. The Six of Swords down here is, again, this is a difficult one. The Six of Swords down here is it's a journey where things smooth out and there's some healing to be had in that. To me, the word there would be compromise, which is coming up with this energy here where you adjust for other people. And a lot of this energy may depend on how old you are. And I think we adjust more for others the older we get, especially when you've had like families. If you're young, it's more like, I still don't know who I am. I'm experimenting. So, fair's fair. We're all experimenting. When you're older, you slightly feel more responsible for people. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. Probably not right, to be honest, once your kids can look after themselves. But you have got here children involved or making some small action with some healing here. So your two choices are a feeling of being, your life's not moving enough for you. You don't want to hurt anybody. As I said, it could be like leaving a job, leaving a marriage, leaving a girlfriend, something like that. But emotionally, I feel you're already leaving. On this side, you've got grand gestures, big movements, and fulfilling or feeling fulfilled spiritually. On this side, you've got compromise, and neither side are bad, to be honest. There's a healing in that compromise, which that will depend on who you are and what you really think you need at the moment. If you are young and you want to experiment and you feel like, hold on, I'm like 20 and I've been stuck in this job or this relationship, it's not what I want, I would ear more towards that side. My personality, whatever your age, would ear more towards that side. I can understand this side too. Neither side are going to have like spiritual ramifications. It's not like either side you're going to get your wrist slapped. It's, it's like, oh, well, you did that was selfish. This side, no, it won't be that. It's more a case of you could get praised for being gutsy and brave on this side, but you also could, there's some compromise on here which you could also get praised for too. So it's not good or bad. It's not that easy. If we move on here, actually no, I've got to make a decision, haven't I? This is the decision. This is the way I would sway. The reason I'm saying that is you've got the Ace of Pentacles here, which is repeated at your end card as the outcome. New job, new financial situation, new experience in the world at large, as in like, it's like setting yourself up again, the Ace of Pentacles. And you've got the Queen of Wands repeated twice. I feel it's earing more towards this fiery, gutsy choice. That will be your turning point when you feel bored. I'm going to swear and say shitless. I don't know why I was going to do that. I don't swear as much as I used to. When I first started, I used to swear like a sailor. I don't anymore. You've got here connecting with somebody. So there could be some indication here that you may have met a group of people that you feel are more like you. And that can happen when you're young, when you're just basically, I keep saying the difference young and old. I feel it is split between that, because I think that you look at life differently at different ways. This is like falling in love with somebody. You don't have to be young to do that. But falling in love, and the choices seem to come more often when you are younger. By the time you get to 40, people seem to have gone down different paths, and it's harder. It's still obviously very possible, but it's a little bit harder. What was I going to say there? What it could be with this two, because the Two of Cups is like exchanging vibrations that are similar. It could be almost like you push yourself into different groups, different things you experiment with, whether it is different work scenarios, different groups like for hobbies or pleasure, or a new social group, and then you really find a group or a person who is, this is changing me. And we all know what that feels like. This is changing my energy, and I don't feel like I'm as happy stuck in this, that I've sort of, excuse me, you've sort of nestled in a little bit. It's like it really brings it home that you're restless. You would always expect the Fool to be in here in the centre, because it feels like content but bored in the centre here. Emotionally, you're moving yourself out of a situation. Somebody or some situation makes you feel like this is my new. This is the new me. This is my new vibration. You've got the Hierophant here and the Four of Wands here. This could indicate a business, a company, a structure, a building, somewhere where you go, where you find your vibe. And I'm thinking here of Fight Club, when they actually, him and, sorry, I don't mean to cough so often. I have had flu for a week and a half, and it was horrid. Absolutely horrid. Couldn't taste anything, can't smell anything. You forget how fantastic that is, just to smell things and taste things. The Hierophant card here, this is like a structure, a building. So it can be like you find this situation, this vibration that feels like home in a new job situation, or it could be, as I was saying, Fight Club, wasn't it? When they go to all those different groups and meetings, Marla Sharples, whatever her name is, Charla Marples, I don't know, and the other guy, the main guy out of it, I don't know, I can't remember people's names, I'm so awful. And they compete to go to different like therapies, different group, help groups and situations. It's like that. You could find somebody in that type of situation where you're in a group of people who are like you. The end is an Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning, which is hinted at here. So your turning point, to start summarising this here, is a niggling feeling inside yourself of feeling restless, that everything's got a bit too steady, it's been going on too long, you're emotionally restless, which is this card here, and want to move away, but you're afraid of hurting people, leaving people, not on the hook, but just sort of leaving people and hurting people. Yeah, say again, hurting people or leaving people. I'm earing more towards the correct choice is the bravest choice. The one which is the most gutsy, the one that gives you a new beginning, because I'm going over here, which I've explained. That's the one that will make you feel spiritually fulfilled. When you find that group, that situation, that hobby, that person that feels like your vibration, and that's when you will have a new start. Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning, a new practical beginning. Work, finances, home, I don't know. It feels like this is bringing the energy down to steady. But I do feel there is a difficulty in leaving the steady. Whether that is a person, somebody who's, a good person who just is, you've been with for a long time, but your energy is changing and theirs is not. And you're ready for something new. So that's your turning point. It will be meeting people who inspire you, or situations that excite you, and you remember what that feels like. It's like, oh my gosh, here it comes. I feel as if I'm going to leave somebody. You got the Devil card at the top up here as well. The Vesta, I sort of made me feel it was like women. The Devil card is being tied to something that can often be comfortable. I mean, this card in particular, it's shown with a little girl holding onto the TV, and how we get obsessed with screens and things like that. It doesn't mean obsession. It can just mean it was comfort, isn't it? Sometimes we just sit in front of a film, or that's what you've got here. So your turning point is a chance to look backwards and know that things come to their natural end, to choose the make the choice that is the bravest choice. That's the one that will make you feel spiritually fulfilled, where you'll find your own group and make that new start. So that's what I've got, pile number 1. I'm going to leave you for a cough. Thank you for joining me. Bye. If you like the readings, you can... excuse me. If you like the readings, they are available on... I haven't got many this week, but on HULUPPU.co.uk. But yeah, that's where you'll find them. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye. You're that way, aren't you? Pile number 2, Mr. Tumnus pile. This feels like this is your turning point. This feels like an impending sense of doom in a situation that's steady, possibly to do with somebody who is very attractive. So, you know, the King of Wands here with the lion. I actually look at lions and fancy them on TV. I don't know what's the matter with me. I keep thinking, oh my God, look at you, so sexy. It's just the way they're just so lazy and big and they're rolling about, and I don't know, there's something very sexy about a lion. But it does honestly feel like this to me, when I get the 4, I always think steadiness. I always think 4 of Wands. It's like it's supposed to be like the end of a harvest, like you're building up action and then you're celebrating something, which it can be. But the whole feeling in here with the sense of like a wave forming and almost crushing, I feel like this is what it feels like. I don't know what the situation is. Like you've got a relationship going on where both of you possibly recognise it, but you know, somebody may be in a difficult situation. It could be just the work situation. It could be somebody that is, I don't know what, like untouchable. You know, this person may be somebody that everybody is attracted to, and you know you're getting dragged into it and you're trying to save yourself, but you can't, which is this feeling here. So your turning point has got something to do with communication at the end. It's like, do you feel like you air your views, your thoughts, your attraction, or do you not? And will it disrupt a very steady situation that you have with this person, or where you work, or the place that you visit that's under a roof or a building every day? That type of feeling. Yeah, I don't know as yet. You've got here the Knight, I don't know, I never know. You've got here the 3 of Cups, which is like a group scenario situation, and the Knight of Cups is like somebody teaching or somebody expressing themselves or communicating. My first thought when I saw this with the wave coming up and the group scenario in the situation, the teacher was like prepping. You know, people that prep or waiting for some sort of dooming thing to happen, which can, you know, is often interpreted as like a wave, which it very much could be. But a lot of the time, you know, we have got like that sort of movement, which is that sort of movement, which basically kills everybody. You do get, I guess, polar shifts, so what they're called. But you also get lots of, you know, with this type of activity here, you can also get, people can make waves, literally. They can make earthquakes. You know, there is the ability to do that. But I think the flood myths, I love a good flood myth. Been looking into them for about 30 years. But it's basically, it's the truth, it's knowledge, it's an energetic flood, which is where we are right now, and why, I will get back to the reading, and why there are so many disturbing, almost like bad West End shows on TV, on the news, in politics. It's because everything's getting aired, it's all getting frantic. Just imagine if this was true, what I'm saying now, and the transitionary period would be very disturbing and very negative, and here we are. So I don't know here. I think it's a particular person. So just ignore what I said there. But there's a feeling here, and this could even be like a wave of truth, because you have got the Knight of Swords here and the Page of Swords here. So it's knowing, it's understanding. So maybe somebody I can give you 2 scenarios here, but I'm going to stick with the more personal scenario, because the big scenarios always go through my head. I don't think anybody wants to hear them, but always there. Group situation, teaching, something being said, somebody attractive that's in a steady situation here. You've got two choices in this scenario situation. Do you want to keep things steady? Or are you trying to keep that business, that organisation with that sexy person, that attractive person? Are you going to keep it quiet and not air views these cards here, even though you feel the tension build? You feel the tension building. Maybe even part of a group, as I said, like a work or a friendship group, something like this. Now, these are your choices on either side. On this side, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, somebody steady who is observing and watching and makes a, oh, what is the word here? I can't think. It's like unprecedented. That's a cracky word. An unprecedented move in some ways. You do something. I've got another one, circumcept. I'm just reeling with fantastic words today. I don't even know what that means. But you do something that is unexpected, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if those words fit in. Because you normally are very steady. You normally, people know what, you don't shock people very often. But you've got this person, and as I said, with this building here, and this woman's looking out what happens next. It's building, the tension's building. Here's sexy pants down here. And I feel there's a need to say something, to bring it, to air something in a steady situation with a steady person. I think you're quite steady. You may be a bit wild, but I think with regard, you may have that element of, I can say maturity, but I don't know if it is. You like to be steady for others. Possibly the Queen of Pentacles there. Your own mad side is for yourself. On this side here, the other choice, this is like far more sketchy, fantastic. On this side over here, we have got working as part of a team. This is more playing ball, but falling in love. This is saying nothing. So what I've got here with regards to your turning point is possibly a building attraction, whether it's here now or whether it's something that happens in the future, where you feel that you can't air it. It's something that maybe this person's taken, maybe you are, maybe it's just the sexy person and your confidence doesn't really want you to confess undying love. Half of you wants to make a jump or jump on them, or do something that you wouldn't normally do, out of bounds normally, which may be a confession. It may be just basically just coming clean. This side here is, to me, feels like steady, silent love from the bushes. That's what it feels like, the Ace of Cups. It's like falling in love, but it's like being beautiful and waiting for the attraction, and you're working as part of a team and not saying anything. This is something that's important to me because, as I said, the Page of Swords is the end card here. And this Knight of Swords here has got something to do with communicating or talking. And it's got, I feel that, I'm trying to find which is the best path. The, I got you, I shocked you. Or is it the, I love you and I'm just going to watch because I know this is difficult. I feel it's this one. That's the path. And I feel that it's to communicate, and it may be something you don't do very often when you're attracted to somebody. You've got this confidence here. You've got this feeling of possibly, and I don't know if this is something you feel often, but feeling good in your own skin. That, and I don't mean that in a strange way. It's more a case, because it's got possession up here as well. It's more a case of, I know who I am, and if this person, doesn't want to move towards me, it's circumstances, or they're just not for me, rather than questioning yourself. But you've got here on either side, the journey is pebble dashed. Don't know what that means. The journey is, it's not easy. This is like movement, and this is like feeling shut out. So there is the fear there, but you still communicate. So what I've got here with regards to your turning point, I think there feels like a building tension with somebody that you're attracted to. And as I said, I don't know whether you know this person yet or not. This person feels like the sexy person. That when people say, oh, you fancy so-and-so, do you? Everybody likes them. And you think, well, should I, am I just going down the same sort of being pulled down some vortex like everybody else? Or is there something special here? Maybe with these cards here. You've got a choice here, which is to do the evil Edna plan and do something totally unexpected and shock yourself. You will feel good about it, but it will feel threatening. And I think that is possibly the road to take, because it's got something to do with communicating here and expressing yourself, which may be part of the lesson of this. On this side here, you've got the steady, silent love. Do I just look beautiful? The Justice card, and work as part of a team and hope this person notices me. And the Ace of Cups, where I just fall in love silently. But you've got speech here. And it doesn't mean a big confession. It just means airing who you are, expressing who you are, which is hinted at up here. So that is what I've got. Your turning point is to do with attraction and whether you actually air it, whether you actually reciprocate. And I think that you will do something that you may not have done before. You will feel good, although it will feel threatening, which is this feeling here, these two cards here. But you've got the Victorious card in the centre, and that will come through communicating. Whether you get the person, we don't know. The Spirit of Swords, is normally a little boy on a hill with his sword looking down on the hill. The swords is in mind and your communication and looking ahead into the future and wondering, perusing to some extent or questioning. So it doesn't say that you get the person, but there's a feeling here that you understand the situation, you do it anyway. It's a bit like pile number 1, there was an element of bravery in this side. This is a bit more reckless. This is a bit more beautiful and steady, but with this card here, it's like, I want to feel good rather than feeling safe. And I think you pick I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to express myself anyway. So that will be your turning point. You'll be like, yeah, I did it. Even if you don't get what you want at the end, or what you think you want. We all think we want something, don't we? So that's what I've got. I hope that makes sense. It's not too convoluted, but I hope I explained it well. I feel it'll get to the point where the tension builds so much that the decision is made almost like a snap decision. I'm just going to say something. I'm going to confess. I'm going to make my feelings or my thoughts clear. I was going to say it doesn't have to be attraction, but I think it is. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 2. Thank you for joining me. Bye. Oh, I've got like a relationship feeling in this one, but I've also got a totally different feeling, which has got more to do with beauty. Let me do the beauty one first, and then I'll go into the relationship one. I don't know how many people this will apply to, but to me it feels like a decision to have plastic surgery or to make yourself more beautiful in a more drastic way. And the most drastic thing I can think of is plastic surgery. You've got the Ace of Cups here, and the sort of love, the Empress card, which can often be beauty. You've got a lady here who's quite content in their own garden, doesn't have to be a lady. It's like a desire to change your body were my first thoughts. And I even laughed a little bit to myself here, because I thought that as soon as I put that out, I think, why am I thinking that? Then I put the Page of Swords and I thought, maybe you want your nose done, because I can see the little beak here. It was something like that. There's a feeling here of struggling with that, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords here doesn't mean so much that it's a straightforward struggle. It feels like a lack of self-expression, because the swords are all expression and this bear is underneath the water. So you feel that it may be holding you back, which may be right, may be wrong. And then you've got down here, the finances may be there. You may be getting together finances. And the embodiment of swords down here is that the truth, which is another thing that I think, sometimes this may be a story that we tell ourselves, our life will be better if we had this, if we look like this, or we had this. I was thinking about this in the car the other day, driving outwards, hearing a conversation with Ozzy Osbourne's wife, Sharon Osbourne, and she had bowel cancer, and she said after bowel cancer, I think she was reasonably old by this time, she thought, I am not putting up with I can't imagine she's this type of person anyway, because she doesn't come across like that. What would people think? Should I, shouldn't I? I said, if it's going to make me feel good, I'm going to have a crack at it. Which could be this sort of mind trying to think straight. To me, it feels like if there's any truth in this, it's not your normal nature. You're not normally one who plays with this type of thing, or, you know, you think, well, actually, no, I'm okay. If my health's okay with this card here, if I've got a home and security, I'm fine. But your mind is playing with something to do with beauty or attraction. And that's all I can think at the moment. At the bottom on this side, these are the two sides which it will split. I'll explain it better in a minute. I've just got to get my thoughts out here. The Action of Wands is taking action. When you've got somebody on a horse, it's always like movement. This movement's this way. So this is your question, I suppose, where that turning point is. It's not a question, is it? Where the turning point will be. That's your option on that side, and that's your other option here. This option is moving away and possibly investing money or finances into something else. There are two situations in my head with this. Excuse me. The Death card on this side is like a big change and loss. And the Nine of Wands is a woman with tears down her face. And you've got the 9 here, so it's taking me back here. So you're asking the turning point, aren't you? That is the question. I've got to answer the question that I actually gave you. This is attraction and beauty. Physical, Venus is beauty. Because that isn't beauty, but it does with these cards. This is like, I'll be okay once I get this done type of feeling. Whether it is a splurge of something to make yourself, you know, like a hairdress, you know, like going for a big haircut, or doing something totally different, or just spending money on yourself in some way. It's like the thoughts are here with these cards here. The swords, it's like the thoughts are there, but you don't actually agree with them totally because I'm okay. I know deep down I'm okay. I'm just interested. It may just be the beginning of a snowball, you know, that basically builds my confidence and everything grows from there. You've got here taking action towards being more attractive, but you've got to understand here, you haven't got to understand, that the Lovers in this pile is also doing things for other people, not just yourself. It's both, but there is things for other people. And there's a movement towards that on this side. On this side, it's understanding it more so after thoroughly thinking it through. Can you see why? And you've got here like moving away and, sorry, this is the Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. It's, again, that's understanding then. It's like a new idea. I thought it was Ace of Pentacles and I was thinking, oh, perhaps you put the money that you would have spent somewhere else. It's like into skills. Perhaps you study instead. There will be change, but it won't be easy. Those are my first thoughts. So if that is anything to do with you, and I will give you the different scenarios, like focusing on what you want. If you are thinking of beautifying yourself in some way, which is, you know, can be very important to you at this particular point in your life, it's like, should you do it? To me, I don't think it's a financial decision, even though this card is here. It's a mental decision. Is it right for me? Half of you is saying, I know I'm doing it for myself. I know it will give me confidence. And it may make my life, very difficult sentences today, flourish. But with the Lovers card, there's always that sort of admitting to yourself, I know I'm doing it to be more attractive as well for others. And this is saying you could very much, you know, go in this direction. There is movement on this way. If you don't do anything, if you leave the thought and the situation, what you will do is you'll probably invest the finances and the money into studying, into learning a skill instead. I feel that if you took putting a lot of energy and a lot of money into changing yourself physically, the Death card here, this isn't the correct time to do it. I feel that deep down inside yourself, it's applying yourself with this focused Chariot card and these tears down here. I don't think it's the correct time. I'm not saying don't do it, because there's nothing bad about this, but the change has got a lady crying at the end. And it may be that you think, and you do see these sort of things, don't you? And it doesn't feel like anything goes wrong. It just feels like, yeah, I didn't need it. And I've read this a couple of times. There was a lady, we used to have a programme called Tiswas in the 70s and 80s. There was a lady called Sally something on there, very bubbly. And I can remember reading, possibly in the 80s and 90s, she had a facelift and regretted it. And you get people that think, oh, do I really need to do that? Yeah, I don't know. That sounds, I think it may sound perfect for you, but that is my first thought. Let me change it to what else it possibly could be. It could be falling in love. It could be falling in love within steadiness and within understanding yourself in a very sort of profound and, way. You've got here expression with the Swords cards here is important to you. These cards over here are basically getting lost, and it's like rapid and rampant and sexy on this side. So there's two sides of what's the inconceivable side of Fran. I always remember that off Strictly Ballroom. I used to love that film. And on this side here, we've got should you communicate? Should you express yourself in some way? Yes. Makes no sense to me. It's a skill to communicate. Okay, this is what it feels like. Communication is here. Steadiness is here. Falling in love is here. Communication is key in this reading. You've got here, should you do it? Should you just walk away? And then you do it and you learn by the skill. Again, it's like communicating your feelings, your thoughts with somebody. And that will be a good lesson. Maybe you've got a lot of fire in you. Maybe you're just very sexy and you go into relationships very quickly. Because this is action, this is beauty, and this is possibly sex. The Lovers card here, with the way that the cards look at me. So there's a way up here between expressing, talking, elongating, foreplay in some way. Or in this one here, it's like, do you just jump in? And your turning point is falling in love. I feel this hasn't happened yet. I don't know why. I feel that somebody will come into your life and you will maybe get taken away with them and want to, but wonder whether you're going to get hurt. And this side here, it's like, do you play it hard? Do you walk away? Do you not get so involved, but you communicate? And there's something about this relationship that is cocooning you a little bit. It's the woman's behind a wall here and feeling steady here. And you've got endings and walking away, but you learn how to talk. I feel there's, because of it's very difficult to explain. I tell you what it feels like. It feels like you meet somebody you're very taken with, but you feel like an animal instinct. The communication here and here. There's something not quite right about this person, but you find them very attractive. Half of you just wants to get involved in life and to sleep with them. The other half of you on this side is like, well, I know something's not right. Do I just move away? This is earring more towards a yes. Just keep your distance for a while. See how the situation changes over time. But communicate and express yourself. I don't feel I can quite trust you yet because you're... I'm looking for somebody steady and you're basically on your 6th relationship of the month. It's that type of thing. Even if you do it in a playful way, it's the skills are... You may be very intuitive. You may pick up situations. This skill here is actually expressing it. Express. Because there'll be tears otherwise, because you've got an ending here in tears. The Chariot is focusing on how you express your thoughts, that your hunches and your intuitions are actually right most of the time. And you don't have to be adamant about, I picked this up, so this is right. If you don't feel secure with somebody, you need to start talking about it early on, rather than thinking, who cares, let's have sex, but end up crying afterwards. There's a big change here where there's loss, and there's emotional loss and a feeling of being shut out of a situation. And I think you can probably veer away from that, going through a difficult situation, if you learn how to communicate. Which when people are, especially if people are introverted, that's quite difficult, because they're like, okay, it will work out, I'll work it out myself, I will take the responsibility. And sometimes it can be a relationship can form just when a hiccup's overcome by communicating. So let me sum up what I may have here. I'm not going to go over the plastic surgery one again because that's reasonably clear. But if this is a relationship that comes into your life and you feel as if you're on a question, what do I do next? I want to be steady in myself. I've fallen in love, but I know I need to basically express myself or I'm going to end up in a sticky situation. You've got choices here. The choice is to just get stuck in, literally, on this side. And this side over here is a choice to back off a bit. If you feel that something is unnerving or you don't feel as if like this is like, I'm going to do it before I lose them. It's like grabbing a sale item. It's not rude to them. This is like, I'm just going to break off and watch a bit. Just move away a little bit from this and express myself. And that talking and that expressing myself is something I think that will serve you well. The change will then be within you, having more confidence in your hunches and in who you are, and that's where the focal point is here. Pulling difficult circumstances together, wanting to be you, to not lower your standards, but also wanting to get involved in a relationship. And that's why I think the turning point is, I think when you learn to think, okay, I don't need it that much. I'll see how it goes. If it survives this basically airing of a difficulty, or me suggesting that it may not be right rather than just going along with it, then it may be the right one. And that's where your focal point will be with a Chariot card. And the tears will be, there may be tears anyway, to be honest. I feel that the tears will be this person doesn't measure up to what your expectations are because you want a relationship, because it feels nice, which is fair enough. So that's what I've got, pile number 3. I'm going to leave that there. I hope that helps. I'm going to love you and leave you. If you like the readings, please check out the website, HULUPPU.co.uk. All the Patreon as well, which is the links below. Anyway, see you again. Bye.